I was debating this between making a video about Renfield or about John Wick 4. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to talk about today, so I flipped a coin, and the coin landed on Renfield. So I'll have to save Wick for another day. Renfield is one of the newer films released, starring our boy Nicolas Cage. Everybody's already talked about it, so I don't really need to discuss the story so much as discuss why this film is awesome. It's awesome because not only is Nicholas Hoult an awesome action star that could honestly probably be the next James Bond and actually pull the role off. He's got good stunt work. He does really good charisma on the screen. He's really fun. He's really fun in this movie. This guy is coming into his own. You need to look for this guy in the various other films. You need to see him on the screen. Another good one is Nicolas Cage, as usual. This is one of his bucket list 3 roles that he has always wanted to play. The 3 roles are Captain Nemo, Superman, and Dracula. He has finally gotten to play Dracula, and as far as I'm aware, in the new Flash movie, he gets a cameo as Superman, but if you want to count that, I can't confirm it, I haven't seen the movie yet, but if you'd like to count that, and that's actually part of it, then he's got 2 roles down. He only has 1 left to do. It's time to do Captain Nemo. It's time to give it to him. It's time to do it, yeah? No. Anyways, Nicolas Cage has been doing all sorts of films. A lot of lower budget films lately, but he's been in some higher budget films as well. The man is dedicated to the craft, and it shows in all of the films that he's in that are pretty much things that you would never watch unless you knew that he was in it. Such as Willy's Wonderland, Mandy, Colorado Space, a bunch of other Prisoners of the Ghostland, Jiu-Jitsu, the movie that recently came out, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. There's a lot of things of this guy out there, and I've seen all of the films that I just listed off, and they are all excellent. Jiu-Jitsu is a very fun movie. It does star actual martial artists like Tony Ya. And Tony Ya is the guy from the Young Bak series. He's a Thai martial artist, a Muay Thai master dude. He's really fun in the movie. Who else is in Jiu-Jitsu? I think Frank Grillo's in there. I'm not too sure. I can't confirm it. My memory's too fuzzy about that. But it's a really fun movie. Prisoners of the Ghostland is also pretty fun. It's not as out of this world as some of his other roles, but it's very fun. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, as usual, is the best of the Cages. But here in Renfield, he is playing a role that he has wanted to play for years. He really gets into this role. And it's not necessarily a super spooky horror movie, Monster Universal. Is this Universal? Yeah, it is Universal. Look at that. It's not necessarily a Universal love letter to the Universal Dracula. He does try to pull off a little bit of a Lugosi look about this, but this is ultimately like a toxic, codependent relationship. He is dependent upon him. It's like this big psychological abuse thing. He's going to therapy, group therapy. He's turned into some sort of superhero type character because when he eats bugs, he gets to become this superhero hurt puncher that gets to beat the crap out of people. And he gets to walk around during the daytime, unlike Dracula, who can't do that. He can walk into places uninvited, unlike Dracula, who can't do that. He basically gets to have all the strength so long as he eats some bugs, and none of the weaknesses. Which is fine, I guess. It's like spinach for Popeye. His bugs are spinach. It's spinach with the Popeye, It's a pretty fun movie. It really is. The action scenes are a lot better than I thought they would be. Nicholas Hoult, again, like I said, his action scenes are phenomenally amazing. And there's some good kill scenes with Dracula, with Nicolas Cage here. The only weak part of this movie, I would say, is the Awkwafina part. I have nothing against this actress, honestly, but she has a type, a cast type, and this doesn't feel like the type that she should have been cast for. There are roles out there that she is perfect for, but I don't think this one was it. It's not necessarily her fault, it's just a miscasting thing. She does good enough, but she doesn't stand out as well as Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage does. That's just my opinion. If you think she's great in it, then there you go. She's great in it to you, and that's all that matters. When you look at the back here, what we got? What do we have? We have Nicolas Cage at the green there. He's excellent stuff. And this is the smashy, actiony scene, and that's Aquafina's character. Yeah, there's not that much to tell you. It's just a basic run-of-the-mill codependent relationship with Dracula thrown all over it. It's the name of Renfield. It's on. We don't. What's a good example? Victor Frankenstein. I'm gonna pull that out. Victor Frankenstein here. This one here may have his name, may have Victor Frankenstein's name, but the main character of Victor Frankenstein is Igor, played by Daniel Radcliffe. He is the main character, whereas this guy is just the title of the movie. But both films are very similar. They both deal with this sort of weird, codependent, psychologically abusive relationship between, like, the master and the apprentice type of character. And both of these guys tend to be, like, the more morally correct path between the more immoral character. They are very similar movies. In fact, who wrote... No, I think Max Landis wrote this, yeah. Yeah, Max Landis is on the back here. He wrote this. Who wrote Renfield? Screenplay by Ryan Ridley. Don't necessarily know who Ryan is. I know who Max is, but I don't know who Ryan is. But the story is very similar. I don't know if that's just a coincidence, but it's classic monster movie Frankenstein, Dracula, and yet they're covering a very similar aspect, but this one's going a little bit more into detail about the relationship abuse, because he's actually going to group therapy to talk about this type of stuff. He's not necessarily doing that. This is covering more of like the traditional story, but it does deal with Igor as the main focus versus Frankenstein, whereas this one also focuses on Renfield versus Dracula. Dracula is in the movie and he's a major focus, but he is not the main character. Renfield is the main character. Just like in this, Victor Frankenstein is a main focus of the movie, but he is not necessarily the main character. It is Igor. So there you have it. That is Renfield. I'm not going to go into too much detail more than that. You need to see this movie. It is excellent. It is very fun. If you're a fan of Nicolas Cage, you're going to get enough Nicolas Cage. You might wish there's a little bit more of him, but I think there was enough of him so as not to overshadow Nicholas Hoult's performance, which is honestly very, very, very good. If they gave you more Nick Cage, they would probably shove him out of there, and I don't think that'd be fair to Nicholas Hoult, because his performance is excellent in this. So I think there's enough of both of them in here. It's a very excellent film. If you're a fan of Nick Cage, if you like Willy's Wonderland, if you like Mandy, if you like Prisoners of the Ghostland, if you like Jiu-Jitsu, if you like Nicolas Cage in general, give this one a watch if you haven't already. It is a very good time.